yes. It's like moving towards you very dramatically. And then we pop up. So then all the dramatic goes away. So
Right.
anyways, welcome everyone back to my top 25 college football series. So Brett is not new here. So he kind of has to hear me ramble at the beginning of this. This isn't his first time, but there's a couple of things I didn't tell you that I'm going to tell you on live that I told everybody once I started recording. The first thing is the way this is going to release is by my own top 25. So what will happen is starting August 1st, I will start releasing them. So obviously the team that's 25th will be August 1st, and then we'll work our way through, because I like to get people riled up and frustrated at me. It's
Of
always the
course.
part about this. And then obviously, like always, your information will be in the description below. Obviously, though, you are a Packers fan. I don't know, do you like the Packers more or Iowa State more?
Don't make me choose.
I
Don't.
like authentic things that happen. And so can't get more real than a whole computer shutting down.
Right.
So here we are. Awesome. Well, if you just want to introduce yourself, and we left off with me not making you choose between the Green Bay Packers and Iowa State. So we're good there. But if you want to introduce yourself, let us know how long you've been an Iowa State fan, why Iowa State, all of the things, because I'm fascinated.
Right. Well, I actually got a pretty controversial history with becoming an Iowa State fan. I actually grew up a
Ooh.
Hawkeye fan, our in-state rival,
Oh, I love these. Okay. Okay.
but I never really developed the rivalry or hate for Iowa State because I was a really big football fan, and Iowa State wasn't really a good football team, and they just never really, you know. And so I would call myself a Cyhawk eventually. I chose a career path in architecture, and Iowa State has a great program. Shout out to our College of Design. And the campus is beautiful. I chose to go there. I didn't really like have any desire to go to Iowa just because I was a Hawkeye fan growing up, and so I became what I call the Cyhawk, right, which is the name of our rivalry. But I will forever be Cyclones first. Iowa State versus Iowa. I am Iowa State all day, every day. But I don't actively root against Iowa like a lot of my
Fair.
Cyclone constituents.
Okay, I like that. That's actually kind of cool. I feel like that's how they usually go. It's like, I can't hate them, but they're not my team.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. And so, do you get crap about that from people that you know?
Not too much.
Okay.
But sometimes when I'm in groups and they're just, crapping on Iowa because we're Iowa State fans, I kind of I don't partake a whole lot
You
because they're just
disengage.
like sometimes I do if it's like a head-to-head thing, right? Or we're
Okay.
comparing, whatever. Or if some of the Hawkeye burners on Twitter, start talking smack, I am like giving it back to them, like shut up,
Okay.
So
Fair.
I'm 100% Iowa State, that's for sure.
I love that. That's kind of like me, my Steelers, but I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. Like, I'm going to cheer for Lamar Jackson, and people are like, I can't believe, and I'm like, you got to get over it. I'm going to do it, so you got to get over it. I
That's
love
fair.
that. So tell us about Iowa State. Like, what is it like? Like, obviously, not a lot of, Iowa State doesn't get a lot of publicity and not a
Hmm.
lot of things. I feel like Iowa State is just like hard-nosed football program that is just going to build, might not get all the best talent, but you make talent great, if that's a
Hmm.
good way to describe that. But like, how would you
Yeah.
describe Iowa State?
Well, yeah, just to piggyback off of what you just said, Matt Campbell, our head coach, who's really turned our football program around since 2017. He's coined the phrase five-star culture.
Mm,
So we recruit a lot of three-star gritty guys with blue chips on their shoulder, and we turn them into five-star caliber players. And the past half decade has shown that with the likes of David Montgomery, Brees Hall, now
mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy, Mr. Relevant, and our two 1,000 wide receivers last year, both going to Houston Texans. I think that's crazy. So we're really becoming a program that produces quality players. And our recruiting department, our coaches, staff has been really good at finding those kinds of guys that want to put in the effort to become a better player and develop under the program. And it has shown. And hopefully that has been a good a recruiting tactic. But it's definitely become a program that you can come here and develop to play on Sundays versus just a destination or a spot to stay until you play on Sundays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then where do you all usually recruit from? Do you recruit Iowa kids? Do
So
you recruit like what does it usually look like?
Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Don't forget to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And if you think about it, turn on those notification bells. And maybe if you want to make me really happy, leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this video.
So it's kind of funny. Iowa gets a lot of the top in-state players. The Hawkeyes do. So recently, Iowa State has been really good at poaching Nebraska players. Nebraska players don't even want to go play for Nebraska, and
I like
the other pipeline is Florida. Strangely enough, we get a lot of the 3-star Florida boys that don't go into the SEC teams.
Okay.
I don't know where that pipeline came from or where it started, but it's kind of been something that's been around for a while, and then the occasional kids from Texas.
Yeah.
But a lot of out-of-state guys. I feel like we've just started recently getting some of the top in-state guys to come to Iowa State. Now that the rivalry has become a lot more competitive, and Iowa State is becoming a program that's someone to mess with.
I love it. So this season, what are you hoping for this season? I felt like last season was kind of a roller coaster ride. It's like, oh, we should be good, and then you're like, oh wait, we're actually good. Oh gosh. So how was it for you? Like, what are you expecting this year? Are you expecting the same, or like, what does it feel like for you this year being an Iowa State fan?
Yeah, I think last season we really did exceed expectations. We got our first 10-win season in program history, which is kind of funny to think about. But just with the change in the Big 12, the new teams coming in, not knowing how that's going to fare. Are they going to come in and kick everybody's butt, or are they going to struggle? Coming into the new conference, and the OG Big 12 has got to show up and show out. So last year was just kind of a new experience for everyone in the conference. So going into the season, I didn't know what to expect. I knew we had some good guys and whatnot. And this year, we're retaining Rocco, our star quarterback, who I think is just going to get better and better. He lost 2 big weapons in Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins.
2 NFL guys.
2 NFL guys.
I mean,
So you would think, oh crap, we're going to take a hit there. I think through the transfer portal, we got the archetype to replace them. Now, will the production replace itself? That's tough. You got 2,000 wide receiver. 2,000-yard or 2 1,000-yard receivers leaving. So I think we got the guys to fill the shoes. We'll see if they perform. Chase Sowell, a guy from East Carolina, who is that big possession guy that Jaden Higgins was, and then Xavier Townsend, who's the small little wide slot guy who's quick feet, who's going to kind of fill in the shoes of Jalen Knoll. And Xavier was, ironically, he was at UCF for the past 2 seasons, and he was Rocco Beck's high school wide receiver teammate.
Oh, that's
kind
great.
of a reuniting there, which is really cool. So hopefully the passing game doesn't take too big of a hit. But the biggest thing, and when you get to our question about what our strength is our running game.
Well, go ahead and go there.
I'll dive right into it. We're retaining our
You're not new here. You know how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. We're retaining our 2-headed monster in the backfield. Carson Hansen, that's a name that get yourself familiar with. Big 6'2", 220 kid out of Minnesota. He just this past year really came into form and kind of surprised a lot of people, and earned his reps over who we thought was going to be the sophomore standout in Abu Sama, who had a crazy freshman debut in that. I don't know if you remember seeing anything about the snow game. They called it Snowmageddon because our rivalry with Kansas State is called Farmageddon. But in 2020,
by the way, I've already talked to the Kansas State fan, and I did not know that was a thing. By the way, I did not know that. Yes, I did not know it was a thing. And then he's like fired up for the Ireland game. He's like, and I was like, wait, this is like a thing. He was like, oh, it's a thing. So
big time.
I'm like, all right.
It's a historic moment for the rivalry. Honestly, I was gonna get right into also my favorite game I'm looking forward to.
Okay. So hold on. So let's go. So hold on. Okay. So let's go. What are your hopes for the season? Like, what would success be for this season for you?
to end up where we were last year in the Big 12 championship
Okay.
and getting a second shot at proving ourselves. I think it was a disappointment. ASU, they're a really good team. They lose Scat. So, will they be back in it again? I like us in Kansas State. I think
we're like scraping by the barrel. Like when it's all done, it'll be 4 hours of recording and we'll finally get that 30 minutes. So,
yeah, have fun editing this.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brett. You're the best.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, but I think you were just talking about the strengths of this, or the hopes for the season. So you mentioned last year, obviously you want to be in the Big 12 championship game. I heard you say that Arizona State was a great team last year. They lost Cam Scatterbo, and then that's when I lost you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they lost Cam Scatterbo. And honestly, who knows if they'll be back in it. But I like Kansas State as the other team to be our challenger, because last year I think they had a little bit of a disappointing season. And they're retaining a lot of guys. I think they'll be right back in it. But yeah, ultimately our goal is to get back to the Big 12 chip, win it, and then earn our spot in the playoffs. So
okay, I love that. What is the biggest weakness? What is the thing about this team where you're thinking, oh my goodness, please?
The Achilles heel, I'll call it, is going to be just how young our defense is.
Okay.
We lost some good DBs back there, and we got a young core of linebackers that we had to dig deep into last season. So hopefully their experience kind of just makes it a little bit better for them. But yeah, our young defense and just kind of battling and keeping up with some of the strengths of these offenses in the Big 12, I think. I don't want to say it's a weakness, but it is the weaker point.
Something that you're concerned about. Yeah. Something you just think about. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one thing that and I don't know if this is fair or not, but this is kind of what I think of when I think about Iowa State, is they're always going to do the little things right. So, we're not going to worry about like penalties and dumb things, right? Like false starts and just like things that like kill drives, literally. But there's also a part of it where it's like, I don't know if I ever see anything that's like spectacular where you go, but it just seems like a very consistent, solid team and program, honestly. Do you feel that way as a fan, or do you feel like I'm missing it because I don't watch every single game?
Honestly, as a fan, the highs are going to be higher to me than a non-fan.
Fair. Okay.
But I will say I think there are some really cool highlights that maybe just because it's Iowa State maybe don't get as blasted as much on social media.
Fair.
Or blasted out on Sports Center. But we also we get back to the 5-star culture. We got 3-star guys that are making plays and doing this stuff. We don't have that 5-star Ryan Williams doing
Big
one-handed
name.
catch in the corner of the end zone. You know what I mean? We have guys that have done that, but it's just they're not the big name to get on the front page. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I hate that for like the little schools, because I feel like I don't know. It's a part of football. I just wish we did a better job covering all the teams, but that's a different gripe fair. I have. Yeah. So about this schedule, what game are you the most excited about and why?
Kansas State and Ireland. I just think it's a really cool opportunity for our school to be on the international stage. I think Ireland's going to welcome us with open arms. Dublin specifically, and us Iowans, man, we can put down our beer. That's for sure. So I'm looking to see if Ireland will stock up and be able to contain or I guess I should say be a good resource to our fans.
I love it. And so for those of us that are new to this rival, that didn't realize it was a thing, what is it from your perspective? What is it? How does it operate from your perspective? What is it like? How close are the two schools? Do you all trash talk? Like, what is it like? Like, what is it to you all?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not as gritty as the in-state rivalry gets, but it's one of those old traditional rivalries that each school has just this respect for each other every time they hit the gridiron. I think we're on 108 consecutive game streak right now. Iowa State's up 54-50. I think I just saw someone post something about it. So it's been 54-50 win totals is pretty close. I mean, it's been pretty fair. It's just good old fashioned wheat versus corn, Farmageddon. And the best thing about it was I was just talking a little bit ago about the 2023 Snowmageddon with the snow on the ground in late November. It's just like peak cinematic football. And those are the moments that you remember the most. And those are the games that you remember the most. So I think it's just an iconic rivalry between two states.
And then can I just be ignorant before I go to the next question?
Sure.
Who is wheat and who is corn?
Iowa State's corn. Iowa's the big corn state, and Kansas is the big wheat state. So
cool.
Yeah.
Now listen, some people are going to watch this and be like, I can't believe she didn't know that. I can't believe she didn't know that.
There's still a lot of corn in Kansas, but yeah.
Okay, that's like makes sense. I learn something every time I record one of these, so I love that. Do you think any games on? Wait, is that game a Big 12? Is it seen as a Big 12 game, or was it already planned? You know how sometimes you have like that additional Big 12 game, but it actually doesn't count against your Big 12 record. Do you know if that's that game?
Oh, it's both. I mean, yeah, it's
they're going to count it.
Yeah, we play them every year.
And, so they just decided to bump it and make you guys play that one first.
Yeah, right. We usually play them later in the season. So this is a first for both schools.
Okay,
being the first week and over in Ireland, obviously.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, everybody will be watching because it'll be the first college football game.
That's what I'm excited about. Exactly.
Yeah. Everyone will be glued in. Okay, so what game on your schedule feels like a trap game? What game on your schedule are you the most worried about when you kind of look at it, where it's at, where it's structured, and maybe even who it's against?
Colorado, honestly, because I'm nervous to go to Colorado and play Dion. You know, they got that Caden Salter kid out of Liberty transferred there, and he diced up the I think was it Conference USA. I can't remember what conference they were in. Yeah. So, upgrading, graduating up to not the big name to get on the front page. Getting up to the Big 12 conference. We'll see how he does. But when you got that new guy coming in and you just never know, that's how I felt with KJ Jefferson when he went to UCF and we, had them on the schedule. Unfortunate for them, and he didn't play us. We got to play their backup, so it was a little bit easier. But I would say Colorado. It feels like a trap just because it feels like a different team in a different mode. with Sanders gone and some new guys, RJ Harvey gone. They got some young guys that you don't know what they're going to be, and they're not a preseason threat. I'll say is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Fair. Mm-hmm.
They could be by that time, and we could be rolling. It's right in the meat of the schedule. Those are the ones that. You're 5-6-0, and you're like, oh, don't lose our undefeated streak.
Right. To this team, whoever team is. Yeah. You said RJ Harvey, but I think you meant Travis Hunter.
I'm sorry, Travis Hunter. Jeez. Yeah. I was on UCF. That's why.
No.
I just said KJ Jefferson, and I went right down to the
I gotcha.
Travis Hunter.
Look, hey, That's what you have me for. Here I am. Exactly. I'm here to help you. So when you said it, I was like, no way he means RJ Harvey. There's no way.
No. I was on UCF still. Whoops.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So if you could win one game this season, so let's say something just goes terribly wrong and it's just not the season that you hope it is. Who do you want to look back and go, at least we beat those guys. At least we beat those rivals.
It's going to be the Ireland game, honestly. Okay. It's going to be because that's just big bragging rights. Not only is it Farmageddon, but it's, we beat you in front of the rest of the whole world. So I think starting off on the right foot is huge, especially a big game, week 1, could decide what direction your whole season goes. So yeah,
very true. Very true. The more you say Farmageddon, the more I feel like I'm a part of it.
No better time than the present.
I'm now, because I was looking at the slate a couple of days ago of the games, and I was like, Kansas State, Iowa State, like that probably is going to be a decent game. And then I kind of just moved on, and then I recorded this Kansas State one, and now I'm talking to you, and I'm like, both of you were talking about it. So now I'm kind of like, oh, okay, this might be like, this is a great game. I can't wait to see this one.
Yeah.
So I love that. If you could add one player from any college football team, who would you add to your team and why?
I just mentioned him earlier, but that Ryan Williams, I think if we had an insane wide receiver to come in and, losing Jaden, I'm heartbroken. I mean, I'm super happy for Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. They deserve to be where they're at. They were seniors anyway. But losing those two guys and losing one of the younger guys in the transfer portal makes you, and then the two new transfers coming in and not really knowing, you're like,
yeah,
Rocco can really dice it if he's got some weapons. Our tight ends are looking great. But if we had one guy that like defenses just feared, I think that would open up the game, open up the run game. Carson Hansen and Abu going off, open up the or just kind of stretch the field out a little bit more for our offense to really get cooking.
Yeah. Do you think your offense is a run first offense? Do you think it's a pass first offense? Like, what is your offensive identity?
We're definitely a rushing team, and that even includes Rocco.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen any of the highlights from the UCF game last night, but there was one drive to win the game. The last drive to win the game, he had like 3 QB keepers, and then on the 2-point conversion, he had another QB keeper to win it. So
okay.
he can be that threat if we need it to be. And then, like I said, our two-headed monster and Carson Hansen and Abu Sama, they're just deadly, honestly, if you get them both going. And Rocco hasn't thrown – I think he's thrown for 300 yards once last year, even with the 2 1,000-yard receivers. Those two were just literally the soul of the receiving game. So we don't really – he doesn't need to, though, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I would say we're maybe not a run first all the time, but a run heavy for sure.
Yeah. Iowa State is one of those teams that I'm always just like, you never want to play them at Iowa State, but if you can pull them out of Iowa State, it's like maybe, maybe. That's kind of how I see the team. Is I'm like, I don't want to play them there. I don't want to do this again. So, is there anything else that you came into this conversation where you were like, I want to make sure I say this about Iowa State, or anything that people are going to be watching your team? I think it's probably the first game of college football because it's week 0. And I think it's probably early in the morning. Is there anything people should know when they're watching? Anything you want people to look out for? I mean, this is like prime time. I don't know if it's going to get more primer time because literally we're all salivating for real football right now.
I know. I just think, if you're coming from an outsider's perspective and not knowing much about Iowa State or Ames, Iowa, of all places, it's just really small town America. This really is the little kid on the big stage, but he deserves to be there. It's, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think if people, if they need to know anything about Iowa State and Ames, Iowa, it's just a really tight-knit community, a very caring and supportive community. And they love all of those blue collar guys, those 3-star kids that come in and want to make a name for themselves. They get just as much support, if not more, than any of the big shining stars that come in. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we're not a big NIL school. We don't have the big, huge, amazing donors like a lot of schools these days, which is just getting tougher and tougher to compete. So we're the scrappy kid that's going to compete.
Yeah. And you're the scrappy kid that I just finished my NFL series that a lot of fans from their NFL team are super excited when they get Iowa State kids. And I think that says something about your program because you're right. Like, do you have the money? Do you have all the things, the glitz, the glamour highlights? No, but you have kids that people are super excited when they're like, hey, and we got so-and-so, he's from Iowa State. You know how those guys are. And I don't think there's a better compliment to the program than that.
Right. And then I also think Matt Campbell, he's just an awesome dude. And he doesn't just build football players, he builds men with great character. And I think that's also something that has been stellar going into the NFL. You don't have those character issues. You don't have that me issues. These are we guys. Okay. They're speaking French. All right. Okay. They're about the team. They're not about me.
I like it.
And they're going to do and start wherever they need to, whether it's on special teams or, the 3 or 4 guy for a little bit until they get their moment. When they get their moment, they know they're going to have to capitalize because that's just what MC
That's what it is.
preaches at Iowa State.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Well, I'm going to end on you here in a second.
Yeah.
However, I want to open it up to you. So if you have any questions, just so everybody knows, I asked this because I've gotten feedback that people want to maybe ask me questions. And I never say, hey, what do you want to know? So I'm opening up to you. You don't have to ask me anything at all. If you have anything, though, I will gladly answer for you about anything, honestly. I mean,
well, I don't know if you can
who
come up
knows?
with it on the spot, but
Okay.
you had mentioned, Iowa State, we don't get some of the big highlights, but if there was something maybe recently in the past few years, what is like the biggest thing that you have heard come out of Iowa State, whether it's about a player or a team
Well, my
accomplishment or
answer
something?
kind of isn't fair because Texas played Iowa State for so long. And I don't know if you remember our last time we played each other in the Big 12 and that player was talking trash. He was
Uh-huh.
And he
Uh-huh.
was like, I think he said, like, we have a 5-star culture. We don't care about their 5-star athletes or whatever. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. I watched Iowa State play Miami in the bowl game. So there was that. And
Fun
then
shootout.
last year I watched Iowa State play a lot. I kind of felt like because I'm a Colorado fan and I was watching Iowa State because I was watching all the top teams like play each other and kind of figuring out like who I liked and who was kind of whatever. And I just always say it's just consistent football. And I always say you might not see like a guy that you're like, he's the guy and someone's going to pop off the screen. It's just a complete team effort. I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's almost like watching, I don't know. It's just like, I don't want to say poetry in motion. That's really dramatic, but it's almost just like watching guys come together for a goal and you just slow and steady. It's like some schools are like frenzy and everyone's big, strong, fast, athletic, and it's all these things. But Iowa State like slows the game down and does the little things. And on first down, you get 3 yards. And on second down, you get 4 yards. And it's just like a methodical game. And I appreciate that because I think that's hard to defend, honestly. So
The
I like
long
the
killer
consistency.
drives. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also I feel like the coach, his name often pops up. Anytime there's like a big job or a bigger job, I guess I should say, I always feel like I kind of hear his name pop up
Yeah.
in places.
Everybody wants him because they
Yeah.
know that he can turn a program around or he can really just take any mid-major, any maybe bottom scraper of the P5s can put them into the very next level.
Yeah.
Um,
Funny thing is, now that I think about it, he kind of reminds me of Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. Very similar. A lot of people think very highly of those two men and just how they manage their programs, not being, not having all the big things, but they make it work and it still looks pretty damn good, if I might say so myself. So that's what I know about them or what I see and what I think. And like I said, I watched them play a lot last year and I was just like, they're just very methodical. Just, And then the funny thing is though, did you guys lose to BYU last year?
we didn't play him.
Okay. Oh, that was the Utah game. That was BYU playing Utah. Never mind. It was a red school. It wasn't. You guys lost to Texas Tech.
We lost to Texas Tech and Kansas.
Yeah. And was the Texas Tech game the rain game? Which game was it raining?
Gosh, was it raining?
That's so random. I don't know. Like, again, here
Might
I
have
go with
been.
my random things that I
We
remember.
barely lost to Tech. We should not have lost to Tech.
And it was a weird game.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then Kansas, out of nowhere, just had our number.
Woke up.
Like they woke up, right? Because they were really struggling. Everyone was like, "What the heck's going on with Kansas?" And then they're playing us week, what was it, 8 or something like that.
They went on a tear for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and what's his name, Dean? He's just running all over us, and I'm like, that was like the one where we just came off a really close loss. We're like, okay, back to it, and we lost again. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then it is what it is. Hopefully we don't have any of those WTF games this year.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, or the woulda coulda
yeah.
shouldas.
Well, hopefully, yes. I am excited to watch Iowa State play this year. I'm excited. Obviously, you're on Colorado's schedule, so by default, I will be watching and researching because that is what I love to do. But I'm just excited also just to see if you all have arrived. Like, is 9-10 win? Like, is that where it is now? Is that the standard, or was that last year? So I'm very curious to see like
Well,
how it
last year was
goes.
crazy because we had like 4 teams all right there, and then it came
Yeah,
down to strength of schedule and points. It was, and then the
it's wonky.
head-to-heads. It was really wonky. There was a lot of like really close ties. Like
Yeah,
us getting in was a matter of so many different outcomes. Because BYU was right there.
yeah.
Um, and was it Kansas State? Yeah.
It was BYU, Kansas State, Arizona State, you all, and then
Us.
Colorado. And
Yeah,
then
Colorado was right there
Colorado
too. That's
lost
right.
to Kansas, that whatever. And then
Yes, Kansas
in the
saved us.
last part, Arizona State beat somebody that sent everything into a tailspin. Because at one point
I
Arizona
believe it was
State had the
BYU,
most
right?
losses. Yeah, and then it just got all crazy. Because then
Because
it
there was
was
that
like,
crazy call about the punt and everything.
yep,
I remember that. Yeah,
yeah,
I was like, oh, jeez, this is.
yeah.
I would hate
And
to be the official calling this right now.
it got crazy. It got
It
crazy for
did.
there for a minute, and then because I think you all, BYU and Arizona State, did y'all have the same record in the Big 12?
I think so. I
It
think
was
we
it
were
was
all
just
7-2 or something like that.
yeah.
Because we
College
went 10
football
and
is
2
so
on the
weird.
season. It is. It
Yeah,
really is.
because in the
So that's
NFL they just would have been like, you're in and you're out, done.
right. And
So
so
like
that's what
this
I'm
is what it
saying.
is.
Like getting into this year, what are the chances that happens again?
It will happen.
Or does ASU take a step back without Scatterboot? I don't know. We'll see.
I said last summer that I think I because obviously Texas is in the SEC, and I said we're going to have an 9-3, 10-2 problem, and I said it based on the SEC, but I think it's going to be a universal thing. I think
Yeah.
because these teams don't play each other, and there's not like a champion. Like there's two. I think these conferences are too big, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like if you don't ever play somebody head to head, you both have the same record, and now strength of schedule depends on who you played and when you played them. That doesn't seem fair at all. But how else can you decide it?
How else do you do it? Yeah. So I think 11-1, I think is like what you just need to get to secure your spot in a
Yeah.
conference. I think 1 loss or no losses is what it takes. When you get to 2 losses, especially conference losses, I should specify,
Yeah.
you start getting in the area of like, oh geez.
It's a gray
So
area.
yeah,
Yeah.
1 or
Yeah.
0 conference losses to get to the chip. So that's our expectations
That's the goal.
this
I
year.
love it. Well, anything else you want to share with me? Thank you for obviously chatting
Yeah,
with
of
me.
course.
And
Yeah.
and I told you when I reached out to you, I was like, hey, I don't know any Iowa State fans. Would you be interested? So I
Absolutely.
appreciate anytime I get to talk to you. I very much appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
like I said before, I'll put all your stuff in the description. I'll put your personal email, your personal stuff in there, so it's not Packer stuff, unless you want me to put your
PD
Packer
Brett.
stuff.
Yeah, no, just go ahead and put my PD Brett social in there for sure.
Perfect. Awesome.
I talk
Anything
Iowa
else you
State
want to
on
say?
that as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. Awesome. Anything else you want us to know, or anything else you want to say to end us?
Roll clones.